So my heart is just overflowing, and I have so many words swimming in my head, which is pretty easy for a hyperlexic person. I've felt the need to share a video with everybody. You know, I've been doing rescuing work for a lot of years, and especially with these draft horses and with United Light for the past 18 years. What's going through my head is just all the lessons that you learn from these horses. You know, I mean, it's a phenomenal experience. It's definitely not an easy journey. I wouldn't say it's an easy journey. It's tough when you have a herd that is all 25 plus years old, and you know that, you know, there might be a lot more transitions at one point in time than normally. What I've come to call this transition, this time when this happened, is a changing of the herd. Since I've been doing this, we've had 3 different herds of horses. And we are now, well, within this year, we've rescued actually 5 other horses that have come. 2 of them still have not arrived here yet. So that's what we're dealing with. And as part of it, I'm kind of perplexed, and it's really hard for me to put in words, so I'm going to try. Is, you know, us as humans, we're so caught up in the physical. And when a horse transitions, and many of you, I'm sure, have experienced this as well with any animal, when they transition and you look about you at the rest of the herd and you see what they're doing, what their reaction is. With Sundance, it was so sudden, we were all shocked. Just shocked. He was having problems getting up, and our awesome volunteer Rob was helping, and we had gotten him, flipped him over so his other side could relax, and he started to get up, and he was anxious. You know, he wanted to get up. As what one of our board members, Karen, says, these guys love being here so much, they never want to leave. But I didn't think it was that sort of situation. I knew he was angst and he wanted to get up. So I went to go get some water and some food, and turned around, started walking away, and Rob yelled at me, "Debbie, wait." And I turned around and I'm like, there's no way, this is a nice way of saying it, but I did curse a bit, that he didn't cross over. There's no way. And he did. He had a heart attack and left. It's so hard because sometimes we don't know when this happens. You never know how long somebody has. You never know how long these horses have. And I'm talking about them like they're family, but they are. Animals are just beings. No matter how small or how large, they are so much like us. And for people to disregard that, or put humankind on a pedestal above animals, you're missing out on the big picture. What I've witnessed with how they react with others, how they react with me, they know. they have a higher consciousness about what's going on and what their jobs are, what lessons they have to teach us, what lessons they have to learn. And with these guys, since we do have them all in a herd mentality, they're all in a large group. I chose to do that because I helped rescues in the past who had them in stalls and barns. And there was a type of isolation, much like what we're doing nowadays with technology. And I knew I really felt that I was reuniting a family here at the ranch. So when you create a herd mentality, a herd environment for animals, for these horses, they all have jobs. You know, some of them will walk the elders in certain areas. They have certain meeting groups that they do with each other at certain times of the day. Some of them are protectors. Some of them are nurturers. Some of them babysit and take care of the nurturing when the others aren't able to do it. It's amazing to watch. But it also makes them so close. These guys, even though they come from all over the country, all over the country we rescue, they become so close to each other. It's a beautiful thing to see and amazing to watch. And especially when they find love. And a lot of them do. Oh my gosh. A lot of them find love. So it was a surprise when Squire 2 months ago on the same day on the 31st of August, Sundance crossed over October 31st. Is it a coincidence? I don't think so. We've been doing this long enough that we notice that these horses, on the days that they cross over, it's something powerful is going on. Last night, full moon. You know, the next one, what did my board member Karen say? It's not going to happen for another 40 some years, I believe. A full moon on Halloween. But that's the night he chose to go. We've had other ones like Molly Bell. She transitioned on January 1st. On New Year's. There's always been something, whether full moon, beautiful flippin' weather after we've had a storm. They know, I think. At least maybe that's what I need to think for myself. But that's what I also teach others out here, our volunteers and our board members. We're prepared to do this, even though it can be really hard. I mean, it's never easy. It's never easy losing one, no matter how long you've had them. Some of the horses you rescue, you know, we've had some that were only with us for a month. I've had some that were more for a couple months, some for only a year, some longer. Most of them are longer. But there seems to be in the 18 years, you know, there's every couple years, not more than a couple, there's a turnover of the herd. And I think we're experiencing that now. And it's a wild thing to be in, being a caretaker and observing this and holding space, holding loving space for them and watching. You know, you never know who's the next ones to go. Yet you embrace every moment that you have with them. And even more so knowing that we've had, 3 transition this year. The more I feel like we need to get, it's been hard with COVID, but I feel like we need to get more people out here because it's that connection that makes United in Light such an amazing and powerful place to be at. It's such an amazing experience. So I felt like I needed to share all this with you. Those that loved Sundance, he was an amazing horse. Amazing. Still is. The way things happened throughout the evening last night, the organization that we normally work with that buries them on their property, for the first time in, I think I've been working with them for 10 or so years now, they weren't able to pick them up. So we realized it was the first time, this is the first time we actually called some folks we know, the Ruggles Excavation. Love you guys. Larry came out and we buried Sundance on the new property, on the extended property in the pasture. And it was a real beautiful thing with the moon out, the planets, clear as blue, clear sky. It was evening, clear sky. And a great sense of peace came over all of us that were there. And I'm so grateful that United in Light is able to provide that now for them. So it's on a place where the other horses can walk on. They can lay down. I've experienced that in the past, where the horses ground with, just lay down and be with that presence. They mourn too. So far, the herd seems pretty good. We're watching Ashley. Ashley's the young one, our young quarter horse that came in with them, and with Sundance and Squire from Nevada. She was so severely beaten, it took her a year before she'd let me touch her all over. And Squire and Sundance were her family to a T. They took care of her. They were big brothers. So I'm watching her. We're all watching her. And we're loving her and brushing her and giving her lots of attention. Same with Arabella. Arabella was Sundance's love. And Sundance was always the guy that was always on the outskirts watching the herd. So I know he loved Arabella dearly because he was very protective of her, but not as much as how she's protective of him. In the later years, with more horses that we've rescued, Arabella was always, she always watched who was next to her boy. She's always jealous. So we are watching Arabella. The new horse that we brought in that you may know about, who is the Premarin mare, Mama Cass, that we ended up changing to Sophie. She loves that name. When we call her Sophie, her ears just perk right up. She looks right at us. Sophie's been playing a huge role. So with Premarin mares, a lot of times they lose their babies. They're in full production of their pregnant mare urine. So Arabella, even before Sunday, in this past 2 weeks, I'd say, since we integrated her, Sophie in with the rest of the herd, Arabella's been hanging out with her a lot. And I thought it was just because she was showing her around, but she's still hanging out with her. And I think that's another sense that makes me think that she might have known something was going on with Sundance. Anyway, so we're watching the rest of the herd, and we'll see what happens. But I know this is tough, and I know it's tough for a lot of supporters to experience this with us. But please know this is phenomenal work. Know that these horses know you. When we have repeat volunteers and repeat visitors, they know and they love you. And what you're doing with all these, enabling us to reunite and unite people with these horses. So many lives have been touched by these guys. So many lives have been touched by these horses individually. I could never tell you, You know, when we have an open house, I can never say, oh yeah, this person's going to bond with this horse, this one will bond with this horse. It's always different. It's always different, and everybody falls in love with a horse here. It's an amazing experience to watch, be a part of. And it's really important work. And the gift that we give these guys towards the last part of their lives is such a blessing to do as well. And so thank you for allowing us to do that work. Thank you so much for allowing us to continue to do this work, because we couldn't do it without you. We're fully funded by the public, fully. And we're all volunteer based, even me. I work 2 days a week doing chiropractic so I can take care of myself. And the rest of the time I devote to these horses. So thank you, thank you. And please come out. Please come out and say hi to the ones, your favorites. Make new favorites. Give them love. Learn about them. Heal with them. Because that's what they want to do with you. Many, many blessings. And we hope to see you soon.